tuning in to D4 Sports, Day Drinking with Don and Dustin. I'm Don.
And I'm Dustin, and we're bringing you sports talk from around the world and drinking tips to make every game a winner.
We appreciate you checking out our podcast. So now,
live from Lubbock, Texas,
and London, England,
this is D4.
Welcome, everybody, to D4 Sports, episode number 84. And for those of you who are watching us on video, I think you can see where this is going already. Dustin, it's Super Bowl week. 3 days before the Super Bowl. I see you found your favorite shirt.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. It coincides with yours, so I think it works well.
I guess you could say, it's a nice foil. Yeah, we'll talk Super Bowl because, it's, we're on the verge of the Super Bowl and we're D4 Sports and we will talk sports, and my team is playing after a victory, a hard-fought victory in unpleasant conditions in Denver. And here we go. So, February the 5th, Thursday for us. Not, we've done Thursday before, but not too terribly early for you. So what are you, sipping a beer? Yeah, we'll do drinks of the day. You don't have to give it away yet. We'll see what you got when it comes up. But,
nothing spectacular. But for those that aren't watching and listening, Nick does have a Patriots t-shirt on.
Indeed.
And I have the exact opposite, and it just says anyone but New England.
Yeah.
So.
But it's kind of subtle because it has New England in big letters. And when he first got on, that's all I saw. And then he sat up straight, and it's nice over the top, anyone but New England. So.
That's right.
Yeah.
So just got to go for the team that is playing them, which is a good team.
Well, and depending on how you approach your assessment of teams. Have you followed all the DVOA talk? Have you seen all the statistics? Yeah. Well, supposedly, according to DVOA, which is, I always forget what it stands for, some statistical analysis that measures like the quality of play, taking into consideration garbage time, obviously not all 5-yard runs are equivalent, right? If it's 3rd and 4 and you get a 5-yard run with 3 minutes to go in the game, that puts the game away. That's a much more valuable run than 1st and 10 at your own 22 and you get 5 yards, right? So it's an attempt to quantify like actually, how good somebody really is. And supposedly the Seahawks are like the 5th best team by DVOA, like ever kind of thing, which is interesting given that, you always come back to the eye test, right? And while the Seahawks have looked good at points this year, the Seahawks have also not looked like anything like the 85 Bears or the 2007 Patriots or some of these teams that they are by DVOA, in up near in terms of, the categories. But I guess we'll see, right?
Guess we'll see.
So how are you this fine early February day, February the 5th again? By the way, Good. Did you see if the groundhog saw a shadow?
We've got winter longer.
Oh, yeah. So does that mean he did see a shadow? No, wait. I don't know. How does that work?
I don't think he saw it.
He didn't see it. So, yeah.
I'll have to jump into that, do my Punxsutawney Phil research.
Punxsutawney
I can remember the name, but I can't remember if it's the shadow or no shadow.
Thanks to Bill Murray, everybody will always remember the name of Punxsutawney Phil.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
It's not because I actually follow it.
Right. Well, yeah. And, one wonders exactly what does a ground mammal know about weather. But, hey, there you go.
Something.
So anyways, sorry, I interrupted you. How is Lubbock going this in February here?
It's a little chilly. In the mornings, but it is February, and I guess it's supposed to be. Ansley, my oldest, has decided that she wants to play tennis, and they have practice outside at 6:45 in the morning. So she's got on sweats and a sweatshirt and taking her to school, and I said, I got a beanie. You wanna wear the beanie because it's cold outside? And she's like, it'll mess up my hair.
Right. Well, you have your values.
And okay, you're a 15-year-old girl. Okay. All right, got it.
Well, you remember the one year that I taught PE in Lubbock, and I remember teaching PE I don't know that we did much outside in the depths of winter, but certainly kind of late winter and early spring. And yeah, that wind starts blowing out there off the plains, and it's only in the 40s maybe, and it's cold. It's cold.
Oh, it finds every crevice, every hole in your shirt that you don't know about. It hits it.
Yeah.
So,
and I can't imagine trying to hit a tennis. I think tennis in Lubbock would be just really hard anyway, given the amount of wind.
I think all spring sports are miserable in West Texas. Track, tennis, golf.
Golf's tough. Yeah.
I mean, golf would help me. Or you would think it would. You've seen my game.
Direction the wind's blowing. No,
it's either going down the fairway or it's behind me somehow. I don't really know.
Yeah. Well, I lived in Lubbock for one full year, for those who don't know. And then, of course, I've been back many times over the years. But when I was in college, I went to college in Fresno, California, which is right in the Central Plains. And similar to Lubbock in terms of terrain, it's very flat. It is also quite windy, especially if you got out to the western edge. It's very agricultural. It has different agriculture because it's the Central Valley of California rather than Lubbock. But in terms of wind, there was a course out there called Fresno West, and Fresno West was right out by the Fresno airport, and it was always blowing. It's very much like Lubbock. And I remember one day my buddies and I were out there, and the sprinkler comes on, and I'm standing not maybe 10 feet from the sprinkler, and I didn't even get wet. And it was pointing right at me, but the wind was blowing so hard. It was just, I was like, this is awesome. And that's very much like, those are the conditions you play in Lubbock. And I learned in the year that I lived in Lubbock, my wind game improved dramatically. I learned how to hit a stinger and a knockdown 7-iron that has served me well throughout my life. So, I mean, the rest of it's a pain in the neck, but
I mean, I learned how to make a free throw in 40-mile-an-hour winds, so that's tough.
How much breaks on the free throw?
Yep, that's exactly right.
Nice. Well, London it's a great city, even when the weather's bad. And boy, I'll tell you, it's this has been. I think this January and February stretch has been the worst of the, I guess, 4 we've lived here now. Is that right? 23, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. In terms of just the persistent gray and the constant drizzle and rain, which is exactly what you picture London to be. London fog, gray and rainy, but it's actually much of the year. It's rarely like that all day, but I mean, I think we've only seen the sun twice in the last week. And I mean, of course, it's still not light until almost 8 o'clock here, and it's still dark about 4:30. So, you don't get much sunlight anyway. But I mean, boy, we had one good day of sun. It was yesterday. It was Wednesday. And I went out for a walk, and I just sat there in the sun for a while because it was like, I don't know what my vitamin D levels are, but they can't be terribly high at this point. And I sit right next to the windows all day long, but it doesn't really matter because it is just gray and rainy and London winter. So,
sounds joyous.
Oh, yeah, it's good stuff. My wife is like, how long is this going to go? I'm like, I mean, we're hoping mid-March gets nice. That's about where we are. So it's, we'll see. But, and that might be a nice segue into why I drink.
Probably not the real reason, but we can go that route.
And hey, look, I texted you, hey, dry January is over. So, although I was in the office on Monday. We went to the pub, 5 o'clock Monday, early February, first work day of February. No one in the pub, zero. Couldn't believe it. Our group from work went in, sat down, and eventually a few people filed in, but kind of wild. So I don't know what that means.
It's a Monday.
But, yeah. Anyway, it's 5 o'clock, man. So the cocktail I have this week. So my birthday was about 2 weeks ago, the 21st of January. Mm-hmm. My wife took me out. We went to the Banksy exhibit, which was Very cool for anybody who knows who Banksy is. And then we stumbled into a little cocktail bar afterward called the K Bar at the Kensington Hotel, which was very posh down in South Kensington. It was lovely. And what they had, their feature was a martini flight. And so they bring the cart over, and the guy is all fancy, and he's suited and everything. And he put 3 little glasses out there, and he made 3 martinis. One was a straight martini, it was all gin martini, of course. Straight gin martini with a twist, nice lemon twist, lovely. And then he did a slightly dirty martini, which he made the martini, put in olives, and then he had like a spray of like olive juice, right? So he didn't like actually put in, so he just like sprayed the inside of the glass, right? So you just get the hint, slightly dirty martini. Lovely, because I'm not a big dirty martini fan, but that was nice. But then the third one was a Gibson. And I've had a Gibson before, but I'd never had it quite like this. So a Gibson is basically a martini, but instead of olives, you use cocktail onions to garnish. But what he did is he sprayed the glass with pickle juice. A little bit of pickle juice, which is, yeah, you love pickles, which is not quite the same as the olive brine, but a similar type of effect. And so anyway, and it was lovely. And so I made my own. So I am rocking the Gibson.
Nice.
Martini, with just a little bit. I didn't spray. I don't have a spray. I actually just added a little pickle juice. And then the cocktail onions. I don't know if you can see the cocktail onions, right? In there.
I can, yep.
Which actually are way underrated. Cocktail onions are actually kind of sweet. They're really quite nice. But anyway, so I am rocking the Gibson today in honor of the K Bar here in South Kensington, and just because I like martinis, and it's a lovely variation.
Well, there you go. Now, you said lovely 3 times, and you didn't say down the hatch. So
down the edge.
I will call you out on that.
Sandro. Speaking of, I got some things I'll share with you offline about some of his more recent posts, if you haven't followed him yet on Instagram. But anyway, all right.
Well, it's still early here, so I'm just, I've got coffee, and then I made myself a nice smoothie. So I went with the smoothie today.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What's in there? It looks brown.
Yeah, it's a little brown. Pink, purple, whatever. Strawberry, banana, blueberries, and then some vitamin stuff, healthy stuff.
Do you yogurt or ice, or what do you?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Yogurt, yeah, some Greek yogurt and ice. So
nice. All right, I'm down for a good smoothie. I don't drink them often, but I do. I like a smoothie as much as the next guy.
And we don't do food very often. But I saw this in the store, and it's another bag of chips.
Okay, crisps.
And it's yes, sure, crisps. And I can't really read it because it's in Chinese or Japanese or something.
Yeah.
But
crab. Fried crab?
You can see fried crab flavor. So
have you down the hatch? Here we go.
Here we go. I'm not, that's too big of a chip or a crisp. I'm going to go with something smaller.
And this is why you need to watch us on YouTube, folks. Because if you haven't seen that, whoa, man, you don't look like you're going to keep that down.
That may be one of the worst things I've ever tried. That was absolutely disgusting. Do not try that. Wow. All right, that's a good start to the show.
Now I'm tempted. Hey,
I'll bring you a bag.
Find a mini bag. Yeah, just see if you can find a single. Keep one for me until the next time I see you.
Oh my goodness gracious. I'm good now.
Not, was it just, just fishy or what?
Yeah, it was fishy. It had some spice to it. And the spice didn't kick, like not hot, because I like hot things. It just wasn't good. It was not.
Fair enough.
Not palatable.
Mm-hmm. No, it didn't look like it sat well in the tongue. Yeah.
It was pretty instantaneous. For those that are watching, probably noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my apologies to anybody watching.
That was nice. That was nice.
Glad you enjoyed that.
Well, no, hey, look, if that's your choice, man, I wasn't going to make you eat that. Maybe I'll
I know.
See if I can.
I mean, I try things on here, right? That's what I do.
Maybe I'll see if I can find a curious food or such like. But
now I finished the drinks. Mm-hmm. There is a 1,000% guarantee I am not eating another chip. I mean it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
If you do, I don't know that it's going to be a one-person podcast, and that
it might have to be. Yeah. No, you've done it before.
Well. All right. Well, with that, let me take an opening shot, and I'll go ahead and start here because Dustin, I know, though it was a disappointing end of the season for Texas Tech football, it was a very good season. Have you seen their schedule for next year? Let's just say there were a few comments on social media about the Texas Tech schedule for next year. Let me just run through this real quickly. Because first they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 home games, first of all, out of 12. So, okay, whatever. I mean, that's not that big a deal, but, you know. And here's what they have. Abilene Christian to start the season. Oregon State, who was one of the worst teams in college last year.
They might have been the worst.
The Houston Cougars, who were a good team. So there you go. They backed that up with the Sam Houston Bearcats and the Colorado Buffaloes. And then they have their bye week. And they backed that up with Arizona State, which they beat them last year, right? So not a terrible team. So, okay.
But that's at home, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. At Cincinnati, home against Arizona, home against West Virginia, at Oklahoma State, at Baylor, and home against the TCU Horned Frogs. And, oh, by the way, they already have the Big 12 championship penciled in at the end.
Right. We should be 12-0 going into the national or the Big 12 championship game.
So I will save the analogy between them and the Patriots of this year for a little later in the show when we talk about the Super Bowl. But what do you think about that?
I mean, I saw it and instantly, because we all thought this year was, I don't want to say an easy schedule because Arizona State beat us. BYU was tough.
Yeah.
I saw that schedule and went, that's easier than this year by far. I mean, the most intriguing game to me is at Cincinnati, right? Or is the Cincinnati home?
It is at Cincinnati, yes.
And we have their quarterback. Brendan Sorsby came from Cincinnati to Tech.
Yeah.
And so that'll be an interesting game.
There's just not a lot of fire on that schedule. No. I mean, Houston could be a decent team. West Virginia has had some good years, but Oklahoma State was
I liked what I saw
last year. Yeah, TCU again had some good years, but boy, I don't know. It ain't the SEC. Let's put it that way.
Oh, no.
All right. What do you have for an opening shot?
So, Free Lutheran won another game. All right. They beat Oak Hills Christian.
You just can't get out of the rabbit hole, can you?
I can't. No, they beat them 88-86 in overtime.
That's a lot of points.
It is. I am guessing that Oak Hills lost a lot of players.
Yeah.
This is the second time they played them, and the first time they won 94-52.
Oak Hills won 94-52?
Yes. And they lost this game by 2 in overtime. So, I mean, that's what is that, a 40-point swing, 44-point swing? Yeah. So, that's drastic in college basketball. Well,
somebody's
at their level, I don't know how drastic it is.
Maybe report cards came out, or I don't know.
Something. But have you seen the stuff on Charles Bediako?
I have not.
Do you know who that is?
I don't.
So he is a basketball player for Alabama. Okay. I believe he played 3 years in the G League. before coming to Alabama.
I didn't read it, but I saw, okay. And?
So he's trying to get a waiver from the NCAA to legally play this season.
Yeah.
Now, he's been playing the past few games for Alabama. And so the ruling is supposed to be coming out. We don't know how soon because now his attorneys are trying to prolong the process because he's able to play while the process is going on.
Yeah, that tells you everything you need to know right there.
Exactly. So the argument is, do we let him play? Because I think there's another player that's playing as well, that played in the G League and went back to college, right? The argument is that they're paying overseas international players to come over here and play in college as well. And some of those players have played professionally overseas, because you can play at a younger age professionally over there.
Yeah.
Like Luka or other international players that have played younger. But so that's their argument is, well, we're playing international players to come over and play in college, and they play professionally as well. But I don't know. This thing is the NCAA and all this NIL stuff is so skewed.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's interesting is it used to be, right, pay for play. Well, you became professional when you got paid to play. That was always the thing, right? But now you could make the argument that, well, I got paid less in the G League than I did for the NIL.
No, that's exactly why I think he went back.
Yeah. And he's like, well, No,
or some of these guys are staying in college because they're getting
of course they are.
$3 million to play this year versus the signing contract for $500,000.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, on the one hand, it'd be like, if the NIL thing keeps going, maybe you get a resurgence of some college teams, right? Where you get guys who stay together for 3 and 4 years and maybe have a dynasty or something, which it used to be, right? Back in the 80s and 90s and stuff. You used to have teams that would stay in the league and, you'd have a group of guys come through together. But then again, everybody's now just jumping ship with the transfer portal. So you're not getting anybody. The guys aren't staying at the same school. So you're not even getting that. I don't know what is going to happen with college sports at this point. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Yeah.
I'll try to be real quick. Me and a buddy had a conversation about this. His name is Greg. And we were talking, and with the transfer portal now, everybody's looking at all the guys that are already in college.
Yeah.
Right. So who does that leave out? It leaves out seniors in high school or people coming in, right? Not everybody, but the few that are really trying to go play D1, it leaves them out. So we were talking and we thought it might not be a bad idea for a big D1 school to go to a mid-major school or a D2 school and say, you look at the freshmen, you bring the freshmen in, have them play for you for a year or two. We'll give you some kickback from this NIL stuff.
That can't be legal.
And then we will funnel them from you up to us.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's legal.
Pump
but
$50
there's
million pump $50 million into some junior colleges.
There's so many avenues right now with this that, that would be an interesting, like UConn calling Norfolk State and going, all right, you look at these freshmen, bring them onto your team. We'll give you some kickback if they do well enough.
Honest to God, we're getting close to where it's going to become like the academy system over here in football, where the professional teams just start building up their own farm system and, they bring kids in because, your 16, 17, 18-year-old kids in high school would be like, well, why am I not? Just because I can't technically start college, even though nobody's going to class, or if they are, nobody cares, right? And why am I not getting my millions? And maybe they are. I don't even know. They probably have high school kids signing NIL deals now. I don't even know.
Right.
But, that's definitely a future segment, something to keep watching. But for now, we're going to call that segment 1 on episode 84 of D4 Sports. Episode number 84 of D4 Sports coming back at you. Day drinking with Don and Dustin. I am enjoying my Gibson. And, you could kind of walk through the number of great athletes named Gibson throughout history. Antonio Gibson, running back for the Patriots on IR since preseason. Probably not the one you were thinking of. Huh?
Kirk Gibson.
Kirk Gibson.
Yeah, there's some big names out there.
Bob Gibson.
Bob Gibson.
Mel Gibson. I don't know if he's an athlete. Anyway, segment number 2, D4 Business. Once again, Dustin, I'm really trying to maintain my focus in the Premier League. I really am. I keep trying. I keep making moves. I keep just not, it doesn't matter. This week I had 54 points. And I thought, that's pretty good. Except that the first place had 68, second place had 64, third place had 69. You only had 39.
I had
so you laid an
awful week.
You laid an egg this week. But like John Woodard got 76 points, and I don't think he's got 4 guys on his team who had 0, all of whom were on the bench. But I don't know. Maybe he's trying. I haven't actually talked to him about it. But, yeah, so, it's still, I'm at 1,229 points. Now, almost 170 behind Sammy at 1,391 in first. But he's 60 points clear of number 2, who's right. Olajic's at 1,335. Game Changers at 1,291. You come in at 1,279. I have to say, it is nice that whoever this gentleman is, Surkar, who was in last year, Anaban Surkar, he is behind me in 7th place. And the only reason I like that is because otherwise, everybody we don't know
is better than us.
Are in the top 3 spots. You're in at 1,279. So you're
I've been going back and forth between 3rd and 4th, and laying an egg this week did not help me.
No, yeah. Because Game Changers beat you by 30 this week, so he leapfrogged you there. But yeah, it's I don't know. And I just have to say, Man City coming back and benching Erling Haaland last weekend, and then doing the worst possible thing, putting him in for the last 10 minutes of the game, so he gives you 1. I mean, that was just brutal.
And triple captaining him.
Well, some of us did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just cold-blooded on Man City's part. They were playing Wolves, and so you're like, oh, great matchup. And then Haaland doesn't play. They'd been in international play, so maybe he was just resting. I don't know. He wasn't hurt, obviously, because he came in. But then they put him in with a 2-0 lead at the 75th minute, and they put him in. It's like, what are you doing? What you're just trying to hurt fantasy players at that point. That's pretty much all you're doing. Because again, for those who don't know or care, if you have somebody in your lineup and he doesn't play, they get auto subbed for somebody on your bench who typically will get some points, unless you're like John Woodard and have 4 guys with 0. Although he played them all, and they all get auto subbed out, and so he gets all the points anyway. So anyway, so that's not good. Millwall, since we last did a show, good win, bad draw. They had a draw against Sheffield United, who isn't the worst of the 2 Sheffields. They get Sheffield Wednesday, not this week, but next week, who's just terrible. And so they need to win that one, but they got a draw. So Millwall's hanging in 5th. We're at 50 points, 1 behind Ipswich Town, who, by the way, made a huge play to try to steal Femi Aziz, who's our best offensive player. Yep. But apparently we fend him off. I don't know if that means we paid them more, or I don't know how it all works exactly. But yeah, Aziz,
we lost Imaku.
Yeah. We did lose Imaku to Oxford. Is that right? Oxford City? Yeah, who is in our division, aren't they?
Yes.
They're 23rd. That's weird. And I was just going to say, I don't know how all this works, because part of me is like if we give up Aziz or we somehow lose him, it feels to me like we have unserious ownership, right? Because he's our best player. We're in 5th place. We are solidly in at 50. Wrexham, who we're playing this weekend, the Fighting Ryan Reynolds, are in 6th place. And that's Ryan. That was Dustin's name for them, by the way. I have to give you credit for that.
Appreciate it.
They're in 6th place at 47. And then you go down to Derby at 45 in 7th. The top teams 3 to 6, of course, are those who play for the playoff spot to try to get that 3rd promotion place. 54, 51, 50, 47. So we're comfortably in that range. This is far and away the best our team has looked and the best chance we have at actually fighting for the playoff spot to get the promotion. And if we if we lose our best player, it's like, you just have to say that we're not serious about trying to get promoted. And that would be a dagger.
Oh, that would be tough pill to swallow for sure. Yeah, you want to try to do whatever you can. I mean, within the means that you're able to, obviously.
Yeah.
But
well, and that's, again, I don't know enough about the economics of football over here. I do know enough about the Premier League to know that, much like baseball, the 9 of the top 10 teams in the table are the top spending clubs in the league. And the bottom 10 are the lowest spending clubs. The championship teams don't have the same amount of resources. I mean, we don't have the money that a Man United or a Man City or even a Wolves or West Ham have. So there's no way we can pay enough money to get those tier of players, which is why so many teams that get promoted come right back the next year. But that's another conversation. But yeah, I don't know how the contracts work. The whole loan system is strange to me. And, the transfer window for January mid-season, I find a little strange. I guess it's sort of like the trade deadline, but it's just different. The way they handle the contracts over here. And yeah, I just hope we don't go losing any of our best players, because we've got a shot. And I at least want to see them make the playoffs. I mean, losing in the playoff for promotion would stink, but we got to at least get there.
That's right? As close as you can get without getting there, right?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So before you've got another history lesson. So, but before we get to that, I do want to say I had a message from Chris Powers that said, querying whether or not we were going to follow the Winter Olympics like we did the Summer Olympics. Maybe you have something to say on that. And I was like, well, we haven't really talked about it, to be honest. But we can certainly look into that. So I don't know if you have thoughts on that, or if maybe is that what your history lesson for the day is tied to?
We can discuss that and see. I mean, we'd have to do something quick, obviously, because they start.
Mm-hmm.
But
so this weekend, yeah,
tomorrow,
yeah.
I mean, some preliminaries have already started yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I don't know. How about? Are you a Winter Olympics guy or a Summer Olympics guy?
Summer. There's only one sport I like in the Winter Olympics.
Which is?
And with that segue, we get to the history lesson.
Oh, hold on. Before we get to the history lesson, let me just say, I was always a Winter Olympics guy. I always found the Winter Olympics to be more, just because. So when I was a kid, the wide world of sports every weekend was a big deal, right? Mm-hmm. Because you didn't have 24-hour sports. You didn't have ESPN and all the other varieties of sports. And so the wide world of sports was a big show every weekend, and when you got to see a lot of stuff. And I grew up watching a lot of the alpine skiing. So watching the downhill and watching the giant slalom and the slalom, I loved it. Downhill skiing is phenomenal. The downhill event, I just love. So, and and bobsled and luge and all that. I mean, I was a kid. I would go over to the school next door. I'd get my skateboard and I'd pretend I was luging down the hills and the hallways. I mean, I was a Winter Olympics guy. Biathlon, I mean, you just can't beat guys cross country skiing and skeet shooting. But so
and that's called hunting. But yeah,
well, it is in Finland. But anyway, so I was always like, I mean, not that I didn't like the Winter Olympics or the Summer Olympics, but I was a bigger Winter Olympics guy. Now, whatever. I follow them all. I don't get too worked up about it.
You don't have breakdancing
I love how people
in the Winter Olympics.
No, but you have ice dancing, which is about the same. But
fair enough.
Yeah. I always love how people become experts in the luge, every 4 years, and we have to somehow care about skeleton. somehow. But I guess we'll see. So, all right, on to the history lesson. Go for it. Take it away.
Thanks for ruining the segue, but whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid was Cool Runnings. So I guess in some form or fashion, I liked the Winter Olympics. So, but have you heard of the roaring game?
I have not.
It is a sport.
Okay.
I think you can consider it a sport, but it's the only sport I enjoy watching, really. And I do watch the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
But it's the one that I find the most fascinating. How about that? And
it's not a Winter Olympic sport.
Curling.
The roaring game is curling?
Yes. Because of the sound the stone makes across the ice is a roar.
I have never heard that. Okay.
Yes. So curling is called the roaring game.
Yeah. Okay.
So in reading up on it, whoever they are, experts,
yes,
say that it is one of the longest team sports that there is.
Longest
it was
in terms of like longest running, you mean? Or?
Like longevity, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It was first written about in around 1540 in Scotland, where there was a contest between a priest and somebody that worked at the abbey, like an abbot or something.
This sounds like a bad joke.
It's a joke, right? But it was also
or an oyster shucking event, yeah.
But it was in a painting by 16th century Flemish artist Peter Bruegel, portrayed the sport of people throwing stones across a frozen lake.
Okay.
But started off, and for those that haven't seen curling, I don't really know how to describe it. You have a big stone.
Hasn't
on
anybody
ice.
seen curling at this point?
You would think so.
It's kind of gotten a cult following.
And the easiest way to describe it is you throw a stone across ice into
shuffleboard on ice.
Marker and brooms trying to help navigate the stone.
Yeah, it's shuffleboard. It's shuffleboard on ice. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So, but I didn't know this. Back in the day, some of them used to have holes in the stone. So it was almost like bowling on ice. Mm-hmm. So instead of sliding it, they would, like bowling, stick their fingers in the holes and roll it.
Huh.
And they didn't necessarily...
Like bowls on ice. Yeah, nice. Okay.
Right. But they didn't necessarily use brooms or anything to help with the navigation of the stone. So it was really just like it is now, precision sport, but it was like more luck than precision back then because you don't know how slick the ice is and all that stuff. Man. So
okay, precision sport. You know how this started. People were drunk. It was cold. They're on the ice and they're like, I bet I can slide this stone down there. And they're like, I can get closer. They're like, yeah, baby. And that's how this started.
What's the sport in London? Bowls? Is it similar to that?
Yeah, lawn bowling. Yeah, bowls.
Yeah, lawn bowling. Yeah.
Except that one is a little less formal. You just throw the target out there, but then you roll the ball and you try to get it as close.
I can say precision sport. So drunkards still need a sport that has precision besides darts.
Yes, and of course, that's just pointy. It's not precision, it's pointy, which makes it far less safe. I wonder how many curling injuries there are a year.
Frostbite? I don't know.
Broken wrist.
But the first time it was in a medal sport in the Olympics was in 98.
Really? That's surprising. Okay. Fair enough.
Where was it in 98, Mr. Olympics?
Calgary?
No.
Nagano?
All
right.
So
I hadn't been thinking years, but all right, yeah, Nagano. Okay, yeah.
But the dominant team in the past has been Canada.
It's a national sport of Canada. Not hockey, as everyone thinks.
Not hockey.
That's correct.
So, but I didn't know that. So you have the sheet, which is the playing field or slab of ice or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
is anywhere from 146 to 150 feet long. And
There's not like a regulation?
nope, it said 146 to 150.
Okay.
I think the regulation is in the actual, like, how far away the circle is, like the goal,
targets,
the actual like starting point, because you know how they have to take steps to toss the stone or whatever. But they keep the ice at a very warm temperature of -5 degrees Celsius, which is
23
degrees Fahrenheit, right? But the stone is anywhere from 38 to 44 pounds, which is pretty heavy.
That's, well, you don't throw it, you slide it. But that seems like a wide variation.
I understand that you don't throw it, which is very interesting. When I was reading up on the ones that have holes in them and trying to bowl, I couldn't imagine trying to bowl 40 pounds down some ice.
Yeah, that would be.
But
drunkard, man. It's a drunk sport. I'm telling you, that's where this started. And anybody who thinks otherwise doesn't know.
So living in Texas, I did the exact opposite. So when I was working at a shave ice company as a manager, it was really slow one day, and we had blocks of ice that we would, shave to get the ice or whatever. So slow, I looked at the guys we were working with, and I was like, let's go outside and see how far we can slide these blocks of ice. So I did the opposite in Texas.
Well, and like we were trying to bowling. Yeah.
Well, we were trying to get it to a main street, which probably wasn't the brightest idea because it's a busy street. But we were in the parking lot.
Sending a solid block of ice.
I guarantee you, if the owners would have driven by, they would have seen like 20 blocks of ice in the parking lot in different areas. So,
what was the name of that restaurant? Bahama Bucks, right?
Bahama Bucks. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Well, Chris, I tried my best to do it.
Look,
give you something Winter Olympics-esque.
You answered Chris's query, absolutely. Yeah, no.
The roaring game, baby.
That's interesting. I'd never heard that. Yeah, and I mean, I don't find curling particularly interesting to watch, but I'm sure I'll give it a few minutes here over the next couple of weeks.
And there is something called back in 2014 where they changed the brooms to like a microfiber type thing.
Ooh.
Because of how people would change the brush. It wasn't just like a brush with, I don't know what you would call it, the hairs down and brushing it or whatever.
I don't know. Yeah.
They called it the Brushgate scandal. So if you want to read up on that,
probably
which
the Patriots.
I'm sure you
Probably
don't want to. 2014, probably. So
yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. One more reason Belichick can't get in the Hall of Fame: Brushgate
and Kraft.
Yeah, whatever. Ridiculous, but yeah, no. They actually here on, I don't know if they had it this year, but last year they had down on South Bank for the wintertime. They had curling. They had like a little, like a restaurant or a bar, and they'd set up like 4 curling sheets, I guess they're called, you said. And you could reserve a time and go and do curling. Play curling? What's the proper term there? You play curling? Do you curl?
Don't know.
I don't.
Not real sure. I know that our faithful listener, Matt Houchin, has done some curling in his life.
Has he really?
I've seen some video of it. I don't know how good he is. But
Matt's a talented guy.
Matt's a very talented guy, but precision sport.
Sport. I have a Matt Houchin note here because Matt, I don't know if you saw on his Instagram story, Matt Houchin, very loyal D4 listener, performed at the Atlanta Hawks halftime.
I did see this. Some line dancing.
I don't know what they were doing.
Matt and I talked a little bit about that. Yeah.
Oh, nice. How did he do that? How did he get involved with that?
I told him congratulations on getting out there and dancing and having fun on the court.
Yeah, maybe Bad Bunny will invite him for the Super Bowl.
That would be something, huh?
Matt, let us know. Let us know if Bad Bunny has invited you for the Super Bowl halftime show, because I'm sure you're available, and I'm sure you would add to whatever. I don't know about you. I don't know if you've gotten to this point yet, but I've now gotten to the point where I see these halftime acts, and I'm like, I could not name one of their songs. To the best of my knowledge, I have not heard a Bad Bunny song.
First time I heard of Bad Bunny, I actually thought it was a female. So if that's any indication of my knowledge.
And with that, we will bring D4 Business to a close for episode 84. Coming right back at you on D4 Sports, episode number 84, Sports Roundup time. And Dustin, I want to open this segment with a question. What were you doing when you were 22 years old?
Depends on at what
just in
point
general.
of my...
You think back to your 22nd year and you think...
Yes, I know 22 very well, actually. Well, that's when I had the blood clots and trying to go play professional overseas.
Okay. Oh, yeah. All right.
So that was my 22s.
You were making a stab at professional sports.
Correct.
I was teaching in Lubbock, Texas. My first year teaching. That was 2022 for me. That was 22 for me. Not 2022. Anyway. There is a 22-year-old who has accomplished, I don't know, a little more than that. Do you know of whom I speak?
Is it the guy that bowled a strike and chugged a beer? Is it that guy?
Well, I mean, that was impressive. No, to be clear, he chugged a beer before the ball got down the lane and
for
got
the strike.
So
I'm guessing it's not the same guy that you're kind of where you're going with this.
I am thinking of somebody others may have heard of a little more. I don't even know that guy's name who did but good on you for the beer chug. Yeah. I'm thinking Carlos Alcaraz.
Oh, for sure.
Who?
Youngest.
Just completed the career Grand Slam. Has now won all 4 major professional tennis tournaments. 3 years younger than anybody else? I mean, Nadal did it at 24, 25. But only 5 people in the world have done this, right? Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, Andre Agassi, and Rod Laver. And Rod Laver did it in 1968 in the first years of Open. And I don't want to disparage Rod Laver. Great champion. Only person to win the calendar Grand Slam so far, right? But did it in the first year of the Open era tennis. So, I don't know. It's one of those sort of caveats that I feel like...
Asterisk.
Yeah, I don't want to go full on asterisk, but, whatever. But, yeah, Alcaraz won the Australian Open. So we didn't get the Alcaraz-Sinner matchup because Djokovic took down Sinner in 5 sets in the semifinal, which I didn't. Did you watch that match at all?
Mm-mm. I watched some of the Australian Open. I didn't get the tail end of it.
Yeah, I watched most of the final. And the first set, I mean, Djokovic played out of his head. It was 4 sets. Alcaraz won in 4. Djokovic won the first set, and then Alcaraz basically wiped him up after that. Because I got to say, that first set of tennis by Djokovic, nobody would have beaten him. Ever. I mean, I don't think anybody. I don't think Federer at his prime. I don't think Nadal at his prime. I don't think anybody at their prime beats Djokovic in that set. I have never seen a player hit so aggressively, so attack 100% of the time. He was just full on, and he only made like 2 unforced errors the entire set. I mean, he just didn't miss, and it was ridiculous. And he won 6-3. He had 2 breaks because Alcaraz served first, I believe. And I mean, it was just like, holy smokes! If this is, and then 3 games into the second set, he was done. He had nothing. And the whole story of this was going to be, could Djokovic recover, right? Because he's 39 years old. The truth is, Djokovic was only there because he got a walkover in the fourth round and a retirement in the quarterfinals from a guy who was up 6-3, 6-3, and won love, and was even Djokovic after the quarters was like, I was going to lose. He wasn't going to win that match. I don't remember who he beat, who it was now, a younger Italian guy, Musetti or something, an Italian guy who was cleaning his clock. And so he had only played 2 sets of tennis in 4 days and came out and summoned everything he had to outlast Sinner on unquestionably the court that Djokovic is best at, right? Go ahead.
Right. Well, and I was going to say, and I did watch a Sinner match earlier where he probably very easily could have lost because of cramps and not being able to move. And he powered through and won in 4. So he was pushing through a lot. Right. Sinner was.
And and again, as we've always said, and you just look at his record, Djokovic on a neutral hard court, Djokovic is the best player ever, I would say.
It's hard to debate.
I still, if you tell me the greatest of all time, I still lean Federer, and I still lean Federer just because of his artistry, because of his shot making, because of his just mastery of the game. That I think when he's at his best against Djokovic at his best, I think he wins on a fast hard court. He wins on grass. Clay's probably a toss up, and on a neutral hard court, I think Djokovic, if everybody's at their best that's ever played, I think Djokovic is probably the best, right? So the Australian, this is his best shot. He's not going to win another French. I wonder if he'll even play the French this year. He'll probably make it deep into Wimbledon, and I don't see him probably past the quarters in the U.S. Open, maybe, right? We'll see. You never know how the year goes. But this was his shot. But even then, he was only in the final because he got a walkover in the fourth round. He only played 2 sets in the quarters. He outlasted Sinner. And again, Sinner, who had been played some really hot match. It was hot down in Australia for part of the week until the final. Oddly, the final, that day of the final, the temperature dropped significantly. But it was 105.
Well, there were days they had to stop outside matches. Because of the heat, and the only reason they did the main courts was because they got to close the roof and allowed for
and turn the air conditioner
to circulate.
No. So anyway, look, Alcaraz. Even still, as good as Djokovic played, Alcaraz put up a pretty good fight in that first set. Even the games he got broken on, and it was also very interesting. So they had the roof mostly closed because it was cool. There was a potential threat of rain and it was windy, but the roof being mostly closed changed the wind. But the first, I think, 5 or 6 service breaks in that match all happened at the same end of the court, which was interesting. It was very clearly an easier side to play on, and Djokovic took advantage of those in the first set. But then by the third game of the second set, it was clear that Djokovic was spent. And the announcers were very funny. They didn't want to come out and say it. They were like, "Oh, his level has slipped a little bit." I'm like, "Yeah, his level, his level has slipped." But that's because he was gassed. By the end of that second set, Alcaraz was just toying with him. He was running him around the court. Third set, same way. Fourth set, it started that way, and then Djokovic made a big push to try to do something, but lost 7-5 in the fourth. But he just didn't have it. And he's 39 years old. He played a 5-set match 2 days before. He didn't have it. Look, he's a great player, but so Alcaraz now, career Grand Slam, 7 majors, which puts him tied for, 7th or 8th all time. He's 22 years old. We knew we were going to see the end of the Big Three era.
Right.
I didn't think it would be handing off to another guy who, at this point, barring injury, you have to think that Alcaraz is going to make a run at those guys. He's got 7.
I don't think that you're wrong, numbers wise. Right? You can look at the numbers and say it's up there, but the Big Three had to compete against each other back and forth and back and forth. Right?
Well, he's got Sinner right now, right?
Alcaraz has Sinner, and there are some other guys that can potentially, but I don't think it's going to be the Big Three level. So that would be the only difference for me.
Right.
Would be who, like, we knew that the majority of the time it was going to be Djokovic, Nadal, or Federer against one of the other two.
Yeah.
At some point,
and Murray, and occasionally Del Potro early on, and occasionally
Del
Stan
Potro
Wawrinka,
at the U.S.
and maybe a couple
Open,
other
and
guys. Shout out to Stan Wawrinka. Shout out to Stan Wawrinka.
Absolutely, good on him.
Who this was his last Australian Open. He got a wild card in. I think he made it to the third or fourth round, and
I think it was the third round.
Stan Wawrinka is an absolute lifetime honorary D4 member for his final on-court interview. After he lost, he was like, I've had a good run. Oh, he's doing all this. Look, I appreciate you guys. They all love him. He's a fan favorite. He's a nice guy.
For sure.
And then he's like, and now I can actually join it with you guys and have a drink while I do it. And he walks over, pops a beer, grabs a beer for him and the guy interviewing him, pops a beer, takes a drink of the beer on court and his final interview. And I say to you, Stan Wawrinka, you are D4.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. The only thing I would say about Alcaraz, and we'll get on to the NFL here because we have to. He's got the most complete game on all surfaces of any of them. Nadal, obviously, early on was clay, and eventually developed enough game to win on hard courts and grass. Mm-hmm. Federer was hard courts and grass, and a good clay player, but was against Nadal and couldn't beat Nadal. I mean, I think he made 5 or 6 French Open finals, so it's not like he's not a good clay player. He just couldn't beat Nadal.
He just ran up against a buzzsaw. Yeah.
Djokovic was good, but also clay's not his best, right? I mean, he's good,
right?
But Alcaraz might be better on clay than he is on anything else.
I think he is, yeah.
Which is frightening because of how good he is on hard courts and on grass. And that drop shot game, it's a thing of beauty. All right. It's time. Thoughts on the Super Bowl? I'll give you first crack. Thoughts on the Super Bowl?
I am excited about the fact that I do think we have 2 very good teams playing each other. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would have wanted to see the Seahawks and Broncos, especially without Bo Nix. I think I enjoy the thought of what happened years ago with the Patriots and the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, and the play call that wasn't a play call, and
the greatest, one of the greatest endings of the Super Bowl of all time. Yeah.
Right. Where 100% of the fans thought handed off to Marshawn Lynch to go 2 yards for a touchdown. And
I just real quickly have to say on that play call, I know, and look, I get it. You should have run the ball with Lynch. Passes inside the 3-yard line or the 5-yard line that season, there had been 0 interceptions in like 126 attempts. So that was really not a bad play call in the grand scheme of things. In the immediate context, what are you doing? I mean,
right.
Run the ball with Marshawn. But I'm not a Pete Carroll defender, but in all honesty, against a defense that you got to think is thinking they're running Marshawn.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, the guy's nickname was Beast Mode. So you would think he could get 3 yards, right?
He would have.
But I'm excited to see. It's crazy for me to say I enjoy a Seattle team because I've never really liked Seattle. Their defense is stout. Mm-hmm. The New England's defense is really stout. So
if New England's defense plays the way they've been playing the last 5 weeks,
it's
going to be tough sledding for Seattle.
Everybody's talking about May. Everybody's talking about Darnold. Even Justin Jefferson this week said that the Vikings probably would have been better this year had they had Sam Darnold.
Come on, they had Max Brosmer.
They had a bunch of guys out there.
Yeah, they did.
But to me, the matchup that I'm excited to see is Jackson Smith in Jigba versus Gonzalez. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know enough about New England's defense to know if Gonzalez is a floater, meaning he's going to follow JSN everywhere, or if he's
Yeah.
more on one side of the field typically. But you've got one of the best defenders in the league
Yeah.
against the best receiver this year
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
league as a rookie.
Rookie. Smith-Njigba's not a rookie.
Is he not? I thought he was a rookie.
No, he's in his third year.
Is he really?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He played behind Metcalf and
That's right. That's because he didn't play a whole lot. It was Tyler
Right.
Lockett and
Tyler
my
Lockett.
bad.
That Lockett. I was thinking Barnett, but it was
Yeah.
Lockett. Yeah. And last year he
Either
came
way.
on, and I remember at the beginning our preseason show we talked about the addition of
Right.
Cooper Kupp, but I was like, they're banking on Jackson Smith-Njigba coming through, and he obviously did, right? So yeah.
Well, because Tyler
Yeah.
Lockett got let go, and then Metcalf
and
goes
then
to
they traded
Pittsburgh.
Metcalf. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's totally my bad.
Yeah. So on the Patriots defense, I'm curious to see what they do. I think, number one, if the Patriots can pressure Darnold, they have the best chance to win. So when Milton Williams has played, so Milton Williams missed 4 games at the end of the season. Those are the only times when the New England Patriots defense has given up more than 53 yards to a running back, right?
Mm-hmm.
They give it to Breece Hall, James Cook, and Chase Brown for the Bengals, right? Those are the only games when Milton Williams has been in there, that run defense has been number 1 in the league. Okay. Those 4 weeks kind of pushed them down to like number 2 or 3. I don't think Kenneth Walker is going to have much success running the ball.
No, and Charbonnet's out too.
And Charbonnet's out, which is actually might be one of the keys to the game because
Correct.
I think that's going to make Seattle one-dimensional. Now, if they have success in the run game, the Patriots are in a world of hurt. If the Patriots' run defense plays like it has all season, they're going to be one-dimensional. And if Seattle, and if they can get pressure, which they have been doing tremendously over the last 5 weeks, because of the blitz, they only blitz like 25% of the season, 25% of the plays for the first 10 or 12 games of the season, which is bottom third in the league. The last 5 or 6 games and in the playoffs, they've been blitzing 45%, which is high. Not highest, but very high. And you've seen what they've done to the quarterbacks. Herbert, CJ Stroud in particular, they blew his head off almost. They stole his mind and Stidham, right? What would they have done against Bo Nix? Hard to say, right? If they get that kind of pressure against Darnold, historically Darnold has not been good. He had a good game against the Rams. Darnold against pressure is a bottom third quarterback in the league. And the other thing nobody's really talking about that much is that Darnold had a really good first half of the season and a pretty pedestrian second half of the season. Okay. That said, to answer your question, Gonzalez doesn't tend to be a floater, follow your number 1 guy. And I actually don't think that's what the Patriots will do. I think the Patriots will put Carlton Davis on him, number 1, or Marcus Jones, who's their slot corner, and they'll double him with a safety. That's what I think. And I think you'll have Christian Gonzalez on Cooper Kupp and on Jake Bobo, who the ultimate, all he does is catch touchdowns guy. That was the famous quote for Chris Carter. But Jake Bobo, literally almost all he ever does is catch touchdowns. But there's not really a number 3 receiver on the Seahawks. I guess you got Shaheed now, right? Shaheed, that was a big addition for the Seahawks. That was. And he's a burner, so he could be a threat. Except that if they get pressure on Darnold, he's not going to have time to throw the deep ball, right? Mm-hmm. Again, you get into all the statistical analysis. Darnold has been best throwing outside the numbers. The Patriots have not been great outside the numbers, because I think that's also how they scheme. Darnold has been worse on throws over the middle. The Patriots defense has been better on throws over the middle. Okay. Barner is a decent tight end. The Patriots haven't been great against tight ends. I think I'll say this much. And I'm not just saying this as a Patriots homer. I have never seen any other team get to the Super Bowl and have people dismiss them because they played an easy schedule the way they have the Patriots. I don't ever remember. I mean, you get to the Super Bowl, you get to the Super Bowl. I don't care what road you go through, right? You get there because, I mean, go back to the Falcons when the Falcons played against the Broncos, and the Falcons won because Gary Anderson missed the only kick he's missed all year long against a 15-1 Vikings team that was really, really good, and he misses a kick, the only kick he misses all year, and the Falcons make the Super Bowl. Nobody sat there and said the Falcons made the Super Bowl because, they weren't any good. I genuinely have been surprised at how much this narrative has persisted that, they played it easy. They didn't play anybody. They don't. I'm like, look, it's the NFL, man. They won 13 games, and then they went and beat 3 of the best defenses. Yeah, great. Their offense didn't look great. Tell me which offense has looked good against Houston and against Denver the last couple, the end of the season. Nobody. I'm genuinely surprised that whole they haven't played anybody has persisted like this.
Well, and I love arguing with you, but I hate that narrative. I hate they haven't played anybody. Look, they don't set their schedule.
Well, yes.
And you can only beat the teams that are put in front of you.
True.
And they did that.
Yeah.
Right?
They did.
So no matter what you say in regard to schedule or whatnot, okay, let's go back to that opening segment, Tech. They're in the Big 12.
Yep.
The Big 12 is notorious for being the lower of the big schools,
of the Power
or the
5
big
conferences.
Yes.
The Big 12 and the ACC are probably the 2 outliers. They have been. Yeah,
right.
I agree.
And you saw what happened when we played a Big 10 team like Oregon.
Yeah.
Our offense didn't show. Our defense played really well.
Yeah.
But our offense didn't show up, and we got beat soundly.
Yeah.
So you can only beat the teams that you play.
Yeah.
And like you said, let's be honest, Houston was the pretty pick in the playoffs. The way that they were playing, they were that fun pick because of their defense was so good. But what did the Patriots do? They, like you said, they made C.J. Stroud look like he didn't know what direction defenders were coming from.
No.
Some of his throws were straight to defenders.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of unbelievable how they made C.J. Stroud look. And as much as they made Stidham look bad, I'll give Stidham some credit in the sense that he got thrown into an impossible situation to get that team past that defense. But I don't like the narrative of the easy schedule. I've never have.
No, because the bottom line with the easy schedule, the playoffs weed that out, right? And
absolutely.
And okay, people are like, the Chargers. I'm like, okay, yeah. So the Chargers' offensive line was banged up. Everybody's banged up, right? But the Chargers were still good enough to make the playoffs. So what's your point, right? Number one.
Right.
Number two, the Texans, and people are like, C.J. Stroud. Well, C.J. Stroud wasn't great this year, but he didn't look like that. He never looked like that. Not until that game. And there's a reason he looked like that, right? Jarrett Stidham and Bo Nix, obviously, it is what it is, right? I mean, it's unfortunate for the Broncos. Had Bo Nix been in there, it's obviously a different game. Who knows, right? I mean, I don't disagree.
I mean, with the weather, you're not throwing it that much anyway. I mean, that weather was...
What would Bo Nix have done in the second half? I don't know, right? What would Bo Nix have done in the first half? Who knows? Look, the Seahawks might come out and roll them. I would simply, as a Patriots fan, I just say, remember 2007, right? No, the Giants...
Wait, what happened in 2007?
I think you know. The Giants were the lowest seed in the playoffs. They were the 6th seed. They came in. They were very much like the Texans. They were playing hot, and they came in and they got pressure on Tom Brady with their front four. They only had to rush 4. That front four had the best, arguably the single best game of any front four in the history of football, and they disrupted the Patriots' offense, something nobody else had been able to do all year, right? They held them to 14 points. They end up winning. They got the helmet catch. I mean, it's all that stuff, right? Well, the Patriots are 14-point favorites in that game. Something like that. 10 points at least. Go back to the Patriots' first Super Bowl win over that great Rams team of 2001. Number 1 in offense, number 2 in defense. The Patriots come in and win that game. The Super Bowl has shown. Go back to 2020. The Buccaneers and the Chiefs. I don't remember who was favored in that game, but it surely had to be Kansas City, favored by at least a couple. 38-9, 9 points, no touchdowns for the Chiefs. Nobody saw that coming.
Right.
All I would say, you just don't know what's going to happen in the Super Bowl, right? A turnover here, a turnover there could make all the difference. I think if I had to put my money down, I think the Seahawks win it, but I don't think they blow them out, right? If the Patriots can run the ball and give Drake May any time, I think the Patriots offense will be a challenge for the Seahawks defense. If you can't run the ball at all, and it just becomes Drake May having to drop back and pass, that's going to be a problem. Their offensive line is not their greatest. They were okay, 10th in the league, I think, by whatever metric, right? But boy, it comes down to fumbles. I mean, honestly, their win over the Rams came down to that punt fumble. If he doesn't fumble that ball and the Seahawks don't get that short field and get up that extra, that's a one possession field goal and game. I mean, that's who knows, right?
Right.
And frankly, we wouldn't even spend all the time on coaching decisions. Had McVay kicked that field goal instead of going for it on 4th down, it's a 3-point game. That last drive, the Rams only need a field goal. That whole game's different, right? So you can give me all the metrics you want, all the DVOA you want, right, about the Seahawks. The Seahawks are beatable, right? They definitely are. And I believe the Patriots can do it. I think the Seahawks are a more complete team. I don't disagree with that. I'm excited. I'll get my chicken wings. Yeah, I'm ready to go.
I am actually more excited about this Super Bowl than I have been in probably the past 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Just to, I mean, not because of New England or Seattle. I mean, I think they're both really good teams, and I have enjoyed watching both teams this year. So I think that's part of it.
They're both fun teams to watch, actually.
Right, right.
Offensively and defensively, which is nice. Yeah, so that's good.
I would say the only other team that I would this year probably want to see in it would be the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams are good. Yeah. All right, well, with that, we're going to put a wrap on the Sports Roundup and the Super Bowl preview for episode 84 of D4 Sports. D4 Sports, bringing it home. And like I just said to Dustin, I'm looking out my window, 5:18 p.m. here, dark. Dark outside. Welcome to London in February. But, that's the beauty of it, because now what's there left to do in the day other than, go to the pub and wait for last call?
True.
See what I did there? A little segue?
I did.
I made up for stealing your segue earlier in the show, maybe.
Well, it happens.
You want to go first?
Sure.
First?
Sure.
All right.
So, I doubt you know, but do you know who Call.Shantay Legans is?
Nope, but I'm nominating him for D4 Sports for his name. Call.Shantay Legans.
He is the head basketball coach for the University of Portland.
Okay.
So, Portland kind of ran into some trouble this past couple days in regard to players being sick.
Huh. All right.
So they didn't have enough bodies when they were practicing getting ready for Gonzaga. So the head coach decides...
Tough one to not be able to prepare for.
They were ranked 8th, I think, in the nation.
Yeah.
So the coach decides that he is going to be part of the scout team to get his team ready.
Call.Shantay Legans.
Yes. So he tears his Achilles while working as the scout team.
Call.Shantay.
So then they go play Gonzaga, and he is on a scooter while coaching this game,
Shantay Scooter.
they have to play a grad assistant
Oh,
or a
what?
student assistant
Did this
because
team
they
get
have sick
cholera?
players.
Or the plague, or what did they get?
I mean, I've had cholera. It's pretty bad. That drink was awful. Let me rephrase.
Rheumatic
I
fever?
haven't had cholera.
Yeah,
the drink,
Any of our listeners know the cholera reference by now. Yeah.
Yes. So Portland beats Gonzaga last night.
Oh. Wait a minute. How did I missed that story? I don't know how I missed it. I mean,
I don't know how you missed it either. They won.
Yeah.
They won 87-80 while their coach is on a scooter, and not the scooter like Micah Parsons was at the Pro Bowl, but like one of those
Walmart scooter, like a full on like.
No, like the knee scooter. So you bend your knees, stick it on the pad, kind of thing. Yeah. So they end up beating Gonzaga.
Wow.
That's a story.
See that.
Yeah.
That is a story. Shantay Scooter Legans.
Real quick,
Nice.
SLU, St. Louis University's head coach,
I was
Josh
going to say this.
Schertz, did the same thing as the Billikens coach.
Oh, no. Okay.
Went to a bar, started pouring drinks for people, taking shots. It's on video, and he's bald, and he's letting people rub his bald head for good luck. Head coach of the SLU basketball team.
Well, I was actually going to say sleeper basketball team of the year, SLU.
True.
They're what, 21-1 now?
And then Miami of Ohio is 23-0.
Oh, didn't know that. All right,
So,
yeah. No, well, and St. Louis University won a national championship back in like 1960 or something, a long time ago. If I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of San Francisco. San Francisco University.
San Francisco won it with Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, well, that helps. SLU probably didn't win a championship. I probably hallucinated that, but I'm like AI. I just hallucinate stuff.
Possible.
So nice. Well, all right. So I got a couple things. Number one, I sent you the picture from when I was on the tube with the Christian Ponder jersey sighting in London, and I was like, "What the?" Guy's walking by me with a purple Vikings jersey on with a 7 on it, and I'm like, "Is that Randall Cunningham?" And I turn around and Ponder, and I was like, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Christian Ponder Minnesota Vikings jersey sighting." So that was something. I have another one. We talk about running on here with some frequency and how we don't like it, right? And how we're not particularly good at it. Well, I don't know. Sam Ruthe or Sam Ruthe, Ruthe is his last name. Sam Ruthe is 16 years old from New Zealand. He was in a match, a competition or a race. And it wasn't even like a big time race. It was like he actually was running in it as sort of a warm up for another big race that's coming up. 16 years old, Sam Ruthe, whatever his name is, ran the mile. I don't know if I've had a car that can drive this fast. 3 minutes, 48.88 seconds for the mile. The fastest mile ever run by anyone under 18 years old. And that's on a track, right? So let's be clear. It's a track mile. It's not an open course mile. 3 minutes, 4. What can you do in 3 minutes and 48 seconds? I can name a few things, but not run a mile.
I would have gotten lapped 3 times.
At least. That's incredible. So good on you, Sam Ruthe, whatever his name is. And I got one more. And again, this is kind of the episode of youth, right? We talked about the 22-year-old Carlos Alcaraz. Talked about 16-year-old Sam Ruthe. How about Mark LaValle? You know who Mark LaValle is? Any idea? Mark LaValle is 6 years old. No, 8 years old. 8 years old. Mark LaValle plays disc golf. Right? It's like frisbee golf, right? A little bit like the actual discs.
I got you.
Actual regulation disc course. Like not just, tossing it in the park kind of thing. No, he's out here. He's got this 360 move he does, almost like a discus thrower, right? Mark LaValle, 8 years old, playing disc golf. 6 under par for 9 holes. He was 6 under in his first 6, by the way. He ended with 3 pars. Have you ever played disc golf?
I have.
Have you gotten close to a birdie?
Not as much as I would have liked to. No.
I'm telling
difficult.
you, this kid.
It's difficult.
It is
precision sport.
Precision. That may be the theme for the episode. Mark LaValle, 8-year-old kid shooting 6 under in disc golf. What were you doing at 8 years old, Dustin?
Living in California. It's about all I know.
I don't know. What was I doing at 8 years old?
I was collecting baseball cards with Nick and Zach.
I was probably collecting baseball cards. It's probably a fair bet. It was for me, that's 1980. Yeah, I wasn't doing anything good.
I know what I was doing. I was going to the ice creamery, putting my quarter up on the video game arcade, waiting for my next turn.
I was bowling. I had started bowling, but I wasn't any good at 8. But I finally started bowling at 8 years old. I probably could just barely break 100.
Bet you didn't have an ice creamery on your bingo card for this episode.
No, I didn't. That's impressive. Well, let's face it. 2026 might be the year of the surprising bingo card. We could christen it as such, one way or the other. We started D4 Sports, went video in 2026.
Sure did.
So there you go. Well, you got anything else?
Nope. Not right now.
What Winter Olympics? You got a Super Bowl party you're going to?
I do not.
Well, fly on over.
I might do that. I got to make sure I get there in time to watch some Bad Bunny.
Highlight of the game. And with that, and the worst part, here it'll be like 1:30 in the morning. You know how much of that I'm going to watch? With that, ladies and gentlemen, episode 84. I say to you, D4 out. D4 Sports is brought to you by Don and Dustin and by our sponsors, Sports and Day Drinking. Special thanks go to Trey Klein for providing the music behind D4 and all our friends and family for supporting us throughout this effort.